ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 4 of the day. Here's Starladder Season 8, day number 8. We've got Team Aspera in their third match of the day. They're currently 2-0. We'll see if they can make it 3-0. Gonna have their work cut out for them, though, against the super strong dinosaurs. I'm Zayori. With me again is Merlini. How you feeling coming into this game, friend?
How's it going? Yeah, Team Aspera is coming in hot. They denied Zaya the Timbersaw. They grabbed the Marana that they like to run so often, but yet they give Arises OD. Arises played a pretty beastly OD, and both teams are coming into this series pretty hot. Super strong dinosaurs. They beat out, I think, like Empire, rox.kis, EG, quite a few teams in the past few days.
Yeah, and they are going to get to first pick Venomancers. You mentioned OD going to be that second pick. So already, I mean, both sides off to a solid draft, but definitely a little bit more afraid of that Veno OD.
Radiant team.
And well, this draft actually going very quickly here, but a lot of supports banned out from SSD. They've taken out the Crystal Maiden, Visage, and Lich. Not too many big supports left on the field here. Makes me wonder what Aspera are going to do with those last two picks, as they've got Timbersaw, Marana, and Nature's Prophet already secured.
Yeah, this is something that they do like to run to. Marana, Nature's Prophet we saw like last game, and no Storm Spirit ban either. So SSD not really afraid of it, because I don't think they're going to pick it for themselves unless they want to run it safe lane like Aspera did last game.
Yeah, they could try that. Obviously can work okay. And also the Kunkka ban. Is that... I mean, again, I always go back to this. It's good against OD. That's really the only way that I can reason it.
It's not even,
but it's not even that. Yeah, it's sort of a weird ban.
Evenly skilled players, OD will always come out on top. Almost always come out on top too. So it's questionable, I'd say. But I mean, Kunkka is a really underrated hero. I think he's still really good in team fights, and his boat is just ridiculously insane at preventing your heroes from getting bursted down.
Yeah. I mean, Kunkka, definitely great. I wish more people would use him. He's just a signature hero on a couple of those mid players, but yeah, well, hard to work in a little bit. I still want to see some Omni Knight action, Merlini. I'm going to be honest. I'm just waiting for the day that somebody picks Omni Knight and it works, but maybe that day won't be today.
Omni Knight's a good hero. Not really working it with this style, just because if your supports need levels and they can't actually get it themselves, then they're really on the back foot. Like a hero like Crystal Maiden, a hero like Lich, they can get levels just due to the virtue of their skills. Frostbite, large creep, sacrifice creeps in lane, and you have your levels. But Omni Knight, where is he going to catch his farm and catch his levels?
Safe lane Omni Knight. You heard it here first.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool. I don't know if it would be good, but it would be cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
When I first read about the Ag Scepter upgrade, so his ult is global and goes on towers, I thought that was really, really cool, and it sounded really broken, and then I thought about it and was like, is having a double glyph really that great? I don't know if it is. It's cool, but I don't know if it's particularly useful as SSD.
Yeah, if it like lowered the cooldown to like a minute, or if you got like two separate skills, one for buildings and one for heroes or heroes and creeps, then I think it'd be really useful. But as it stands right now, it's not very useful, because you have to choose, like, they're not going to be focusing heroes and creeps or
towers,
like
right.
Buildings and units at the same time. And yeah, it's an extra grip, but as you said, it's not that useful, especially when the trade-off is you're not going to have that ultimate for the team fight.
Right. So I kind of agree. You use it in the team fight, and like, okay, well, that was a team fight. The structures weren't even getting pressured anyway. It's sort of a weird ultimate that at first, not the ultimate, a weird scepter upgrade. At first glance sounds really awesome, and then I don't know, kind of leaves you disappointed. More picks underway though.
It's very, very standard. Nothing interesting to comment on. Aspera, it's almost the exact same lineup as last game.
Elder Titan 5th ban. That's almost comment worthy. I don't know, Merlini. I feel like you and I may be confused about the power of Elder Titan, because a lot of these teams really don't seem to value him all that much. I don't know.
I think they just like the more easy to execute heroes. Like Marana's pretty easy. Nature's Prophet is pretty easy. It's like always on the opponent to mess up, or to mess up playing against them, and you have to play really well versus them. And I think the good teams don't have the really premier T1 teams don't really have a problem playing against something like Nature's Prophet, just because they played against it so many times. Like Alliance always runs Nature's Prophet, and they can just shut them down in lane and kind of deal with the split push pressure. But some of the tier 2 teams, they just aren't experienced experienced enough to deal with it, and they just incur heavy losses and really bad trades because of the innate nature of the hero, and they just like heroes that are more easier to execute. Like OD just wins his lane just by virtue of being able to CS and just using your Astral Imprisonment. On the flip side, like something like Naga Siren plus another combo is really difficult to execute sometimes. Wombo combos are generally not that easy to pull off, but like push strategies, split pushers are generally easier to execute, I say, and the pressure really lies within the other team to not let the game drag on, and that's when a lot of the mistakes come into play.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I can level with that. Spouting some truth right there. The real question on the back of my mind now, though, is maybe the front of my mind is a better one, but what are SSD going to do with their final pick? Probably going to be that OD mid. They've got a pretty solid-looking tri-lane with that Luna, Veno, and Rubik, if that's what they go for. Could always solo safe lane the Luna if you're feeling a little frisky, especially if it's going to be a long lane Nature's Prophet, but just going to opt for the Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter's a really nice pick, and he's kind of like a somewhat limited Nyx Assassin. In the sense that he can't really shut down a Nature's Prophet by himself, but he's still very effective at slapping split push. And someone like Mirana too even has to worry about a Bounty Hunter. So I like the Bounty Hunter pickup, and if they bring the fight to Aspera like Power Rangers did last game, and they have track on their side too, then they're in a pretty good position to take that mid game by storm. Also, they have a very potent five-man lineup. Like once OD gets his mech, Luna with her aura, Veno with the Plague Wars, they're going to be in a very fortified position, and like Aspera is going to be hard pressed to find a good opening. Like they can like run in with Naga Siren, but what's that really going to accomplish? Might set up for like an arrow or a Timbersaw ultimate that was going to get off anyways, but those aren't big spells that you really want to combo with, and you don't really want to be rushing in versus SSD's lineup into Eclipse.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. And oh, here we go, going to move into Apollons to start things off. Yeah, I like this SSD draft pretty well. It seems pretty well rounded. They've got a solid laning phase, as you mentioned, some decent mid-game power. I don't know, I always worry when I see an OD. It seems the flavor has been to leave these ODs unchecked because nobody wants to lane against him. And
yeah, that's generally how it goes.
That's generally how it goes, and every time I see it, it just pains me a little bit because OD unchecked is just, he turns into a beast. There's no stopping him.
Yeah, there really isn't. And once he gets that early mech, it's just such a pain in the butt to deal with.
Yeah, it really is. So we'll see how they fare, though. Luna's kind of an interesting hero choice, and I've heard a lot of people say she's a good pick when you feel like you have kind of a safe laning phase where she can get a little bit of early momentum, because if she falls off, if she gets ganked early or doesn't have a place to farm, she very, very quickly becomes a liability. So I guess SSD feeling pretty comfortable that sneaking here is going to have an okay early game. Farming away with those bouncy glaives. Moon glaive. Uh-oh, hopefully Aspera doesn't have a pressing connection issue here. It is Cat for KM, who's DC'd at the moment. It's been a day of disconnects, Merlini. Some days are better than others, but...
I know. Club internet connection problems, man.
Gotta watch out. I wish there were some internet cafes near where I live. I would love to go hang out in an internet cafe, make some friends with the regulars, you know. But they're not hopping around this area. I don't even think there is one in Philadelphia.
A lot of times in America, it's just too expensive compared to a lot of other places. So
yeah, we've all got our gaming PCs.
Why would you go? Why would you go outside and play at a LAN cafe and pay when you can just play for free at home?
I mean,
or not free, but close to free.
Free-ish, freer than the LAN center. I mean, you make a fair point, but sometimes it's fun to game with other people, you know? Just gaming by myself is a little depressing sometimes. Yeah, Friday night, I'm just alone playing Diablo 2. I mean, come on, man. Just when you can play games like Dota with your other friends, then I think it's perfectly okay. Like, is the LAN experience really that different from playing? I don't know. I've been to very few LAN centers. I honestly am just curious.
I would say that it's not that much different. It's fun to like be able to joke around and stuff, but like if you're on Skype with them or team chatting with them, it's a very similar experience. You can't like actually punch your friend if they kill you, but other than that, then I'd say it's overall very similar. Unless you want to play like drinking games or something like that, then that definitely spices things up with the real life experience. But for the most part, not missing out on that much. Unless you're playing something like I don't know what games are there. I guess Diablo 2 that you can't really play with friends. It's difficult to at least.
It's such a stupid game to be playing. The ladder just resets, so I've been having fun grinding those chaos runs. What are you gonna do?
Why
But
not? Why not Diablo 3?
oh, dude, Diablo 3. It's not even fun. It's just so robotic. Just use the auction house, and at least Diablo 2, I have to talk to. It's all about the social interaction, Merlini. This
Well,
is
Diablo 2 is literally robotic because there's so many bots.
that's true. I mean, this is like the peak of my social interaction for the day right here. So, you know, any game that I can play without just like sitting there by myself or, you know, playing with random solo queue Dota is rough, man. I've solo queued
Solo
too
queue
much.
Dota is really rough. I like shy away from that like the
not even
plague.
fun.
That shit is terrible.
It's rough for sure. So as Pyrian Flax said when I told him I solo queue, he was just like, "Why would you do that to yourself? Just you could play with friends and you opt to just torture yourself solo. I don't know why you would roll the dice like that.
It's torture.
It is sometimes very torturous." So all right. Let's get into our fourth game here, the third one for Aspera. Will they be able to take their three-game victory, their third victory for 3 games in a row?
One forfeit, technically.
All right, one. Okay, that's true. Fair enough. It was a forfeit. Still a convincing win, though, even despite the lag issues. Let's talk about Team Aspera. We've introduced them a few times today. We've got Wall Eater going to be playing on Mirana once again here. Blah Blah Foo going to be on the Naga Siren. Both of them going to be headed down to that bottom lane. Sharfik going to be on the Timber Saw, solo mid for now. There is going to be Ink Visitor on the Wind Runner, going to be headed down to the bottom lane, it looks like, as she rotates through mid. And Cat for KM going to be in the long lane on that Nature's Prophet, going solo up against what is going to be a tri-lane from SSD to start things off. Come With Me, going to be on the Rubik. Peter Pan Dam, Uptown Baby, going to be on the Venomancer up in the top lane, and they're going to be joining Sneaking on that Farming Luna. And already Cat for KM going to take a couple of glaives to the face. It was kind of interesting positioning. He basically went up and face-checked Sneaking and then just walked away. I don't know what he was expecting to happen there, but Arise going to be in the mid on the Outworld Devourer, going up against Sharfik on the Timber Saw, and then of course Zai going to be in the off lane as the Bounty Hunter.
They pinged them out. They have a Sentry Ward too, so they may go on Zai very, very soon.
Yep, and he's standing right next to that Sentry, so this is great positioning from Aspera. Not going to go for it quite yet, though.
Naga Siren just completely fell off too. I still think she's a fantastic hero too, and she's a good carry, which many teams underrate her as. But I think she should see more play. Her ultimate is just absolutely insane. How good that ultimate is.
Yep. Ink Visitor going to harass back Zai a little bit here. An interesting choice to actually auto attack him. Now Zai knows that there's some sort of detection in this area in this big tube here. If I were Ink Visitor, I would have been a little more tempted to just press the H.
He got pulled so much. Look at his inventory.
Yeah, wow.
Stacked.
There's a pretty stacked Bounty Hunter. So unfortunately, this Sentry back in the lane, still in good position, but for the present moment, not going to be able to set up a kill on the pesky Bounty Hunter. Furion already sacrificing the top lane, just going to move straight into the jungle. Can't do much against that tri-lane. Already forced to make a trip back to the well, so I think the smart play here from Cat for KM, just to move into the jungle, try and get some experience to start things off.
Ink Visitor has a dust, so they can still kill Zai even though they're out of Sentry Wards. Bawafu.
Oh, Bawafu will get engaged on. He's going to turn, will burn the Riptide. Is going to throw in Ensnare, but oh, nice disjoint there from Zai. Going to waste a little bit of that Naga mana. He's going to rotate to the mid, and they may put some pressure on Sharfik here. Don't know that they're going to have enough for a kill, but still going to do just a little bit of extra damage. Absorb a bit of XP here.
He should harass the Nature's Prophet now, because they know that he's not in top lane. So the next logical thing for him to do is jungle, and if he can keep like 4 heroes busy with 1 hero, that is a huge, huge win for super strong dinosaurs in the early game.
Yeah. Well, Zai going to move back into the jungle here. He is going to rotate around, playing this very safe. We see him hiding in the trees. Of course, he knows there's detection right around where Ink Visitor is. Doesn't know exactly where, but did walk by and get poked. So some of the sneakiness was revealed. This is going to be a pretty quiet game, though. It looks like both sides just pretty happy to free farm, move into their jungle. Mid going to be that only outlier matchup. Probably going to be a good Midas game. I imagine at least Wall Eater as well as Sneaking.
Wall Eater loves his Midas.
Grab the Midas here, yeah. A long, slow game ahead of us. So let's talk about OD versus Timbersaw in the mid. Obviously, OD really shines against intellect heroes, but still does okay against the non-int types. Any thoughts about him?
He's a pretty interesting build with 2 Timber Chain. Yeah, he's okay. I would say he's like mediocre mid. I particularly don't like Timbersaw mid. Firstly, I think he has poor rune control. Secondly, I think it's very difficult for him to escape because there's not that many trees with Timber Chain. And thirdly, I think he can benefit in the off lane a lot more than other heroes. Like OD, you can't put in the off lane, but Timbersaw you can.
Yeah.
And like even a hero like Nature's Prophet suffers in the way, whereas Timbersaw can. He won't get zoned out by Rubik. He can get zoned out by Venomancer, but not a Rubik alone. Whereas Nature's Prophet has to be a little bit wary if there's a solo Rubik. So already we see a first push of the game, but PPD's already down there with level 1 Plague Ward.
Yep. Trying to slow down the push as much as they can. The glyph is going to be burned here, and that will repel Aspera for now. And do they have a Basilius down here? Interesting. No Basilius on any of them. Usually kind of an informal requirement if you want to do that kind of early push. Might have made that a
looks
little
like
bit of an easier endeavor.
SSD might get the first tower, though.
Yeah, sneaking up top, putting a lot of pressure on that top tier 1. Some ports coming its way, though. Cat for KM and Ink Visitor going to make their way up. And it will hold for now. They burned the glyph as well. Tower going to be dipping into deny range.
Regardless, though.
Yeah, it's going to go down now. Are they going to get the deny? No, Cat for KM charging it up, but sneaking.
He can buy his Midas now if he wants to.
With the Superior Last Hit. Uh-oh, Telekinesis is going to be used on Ink Visitor. That's going to be a Lucent Beam to finish him off, and that will be a kill. Start things off. Almost missed it there. Moved away at the last second when we saw the Telekinesis. So SSD all of a sudden going to take a nice little swing here. About a 2,000 gold lead. 1,200 experience lead or so following the first blood in that tower kill. Very nice. Going to be Luna's Midas, as you mentioned. Going to be on the way via the Courier. Going to be about a 530 Midas or so here. Pretty damn fast for all sneaking.
The pressure from SSD is really smart. So what they were doing on bottom was Bounty Hunter is going to be blocking the spawn, and he's also going to be harassing the supports. And Priestess of the Moon is going to be free-farming, but at the same time, he's kind of trading 1 for 2. 1 for 2. His experience and farm for both of the supports, which is a pretty good trade, I'd say. And because of that, they can't pull. They're forced to do something else, which is either gank, which Zai might die.
Zai going to be in big trouble here. He's going to get ensnared. Riptide. There's the follow-up. That'll be a power shot to finish him off.
This
Marana.
is a free tower too.
Going to grab that kill, and yeah, this tower should fall shortly after. So response from Aspera. And also the Midas is now in the inventory of Marana. So that's 1 Midas apiece here. But that may change. Outworld Devourer does have Gloves of Haste. Hard to say if that is going to be a Midas or
behind
not.
the tower. He's probably going to kill PPD.
PPD going to get clipped by the Chakram, it looks like. He's at least going to get hit by the return. Gale going to come out. There's the ensnare. That's the end of Veno. So 2 kills going the way of Aspera, and of course they do grab that tower kill. And this gold graph going to start to jump in their favor here a little bit. Still a nice sizable lead for SSD though, despite trailing by 1 hero kill.
There's no way they can get the second tower. But yeah, SSD, they're like putting a lot of pressure on Aspera though. They're like forced to do something, either kill Zai or push on their own, and then they have to defend towers, they have to keep down OD, they have to keep down Luna, and they're not really accomplishing many of those tasks. The main task that they're accomplishing right now is getting farm up on Marana as well as Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet almost has his Midas, so I guess they're about even in terms of farm, but Staking is left completely unchecked in top, and OD left completely unchecked in mid. I think those heroes scale a lot better with farm than Marana and Nature's Prophet, but it all comes down to how well can SSD handle the split push pressure when the Marana and the Nature's Prophet come to mid game. Are they actually going to be able to get kills, or are they going to get out-farmed?
Yep. Oh, arrow going to fly. Almost going to connect with a Rise. He is going to double back. What a great Astral Imprisonment that was. He does get stuck in the ensnare, but going to be able to mitigate some of that Timbersaw damage. And he's going to be just fine. He's going to be A-okay here. They may try and turn it around on Sharfik. He does Timber Chain, but will get put in the Imprisonment. Sanity's Eclipse going to come out. He's going to pop out with just a couple of hit points to spare. They might be able to finish him off here. Arise in hot pursuit. Healing Salve going to go off, and he will about face. Both those heroes out of mana, but
charges. That wasn't that close of a kill.
Oh, he still has wand charges?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all 10. Yeah. Thought
My items aren't showing up. I'm like hovering over items and it's not saying anything.
Yeah, okay, I thought that was just me. I'm having the same issue, so...
Okay. Yeah, it must be something with a new patch or something. I don't know. That's really strange. Because like a lot of times I hover over it, it's like, hey, what does a bottle do? No, I'm kidding. I want to see who, like, if people buy TPs for someone else, you can't see possession of items from just without looking at the description.
Name on it. I like to mouse over so the words pop up so I can read them without having to remember. I know most of them, but it just makes it easier. I don't have to think as much. I can just read. Little crutch I like to use.
What are those brown boot-looking thingies? What are they called?
Things? Boots of bootness? Oh yes, boots of speed. Right. All the while on the bottom lane, Cat for KM. Not going to get a lucky break there. He does have his Midas, but he's going to get picked off.
And track gold too. So Aspera likes to play very greedily. Oh, I hear a Moonlight Shadow. They're going for snaking. And he is back immediately. Did they see him?
Yeah, there's a ward right here.
Oh yeah, very smart ward.
Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah, great ward placement. Gonna keep the Luna alive. He's gonna head all the way back to the trees here. They're
As a
pinging
Luna,
on
you
him.
should always skill ultimate at level 6. That skill is really, really good. And I see some Lunas don't pick, or Miranas don't pick it up until like level 9 or 10. That's just a big mistake.
Yeah, blah blah foo almost gonna fall in the bottom lane, but gonna walk away with a few hit points to spare. Fury and ulti gonna come out. Will slow down the health of the Rubik. He is gonna steal the Timber Chain. Oh man, he's gonna take the tree that Sharfik wanted. He's gonna get sprouted. We'll try to pour it out. Not gonna be enough, and Sharfik will eventually finish him off. But some crafty Rubik plays there. Always funny to see the dual timber chains chasing each other down. But Aspera do come out ahead. Naga does survive. They maintain their, or pardon me, SSD maintain their gold lead despite losing their Rubik.
They're getting kills, but not on the important heroes.
Yep.
Same with SSD though. They got 1 kill on Nature's Prophet, which is important, but the other kills have not been too important. Or other kill rather, is they only have 1 other kill aside from that. And meanwhile, Arise and Luna just farming away.
Yep.
Luna even has a Quelling Blade.
Wow. Going for those extra
GG
bits of last hit. Yeah. GG Blade. Looks like we could see some action in the mid lane here. Aspera are going to group up for a push, and some support is inbound here for SSD. PPD going to come around the backside, but unfortunately does not have much mana to spare. Furion going to come in, going to use the Treants.
Oh, he got Essence Arm proc.
Oh.
That RNG.
That RNG right there. Going to get a little more mana.
Oh, another one. What?
Cat for KM going to walk right into Come With Me and Zai. This very well may be a track kill right here. And down he goes. Nature's Prophet going to try to sprout, but doesn't end up being successful. So that's another track killed away of SSD. And now Ink Visitor going to be in a little bit of trouble. The Astral Imprisonment, the track to follow it up. There's Ascendity's Eclipse going to connect with Blah Blah Foo as well. That ensnare on the Veno, maybe keeping him alive. Still going to be a 2-for-0 in favor of SSD. A nice hold as well as a couple of free kills coming their way. Both track kills, mind you, as well.
They're going to Roshan right now. Naga's too low, and she's not even level 6, so I think it's a pretty smart move from SSD. Do they actually have vision over here, though? If they engage with the Moonlight Shadow, it's going to be very problematic. That spell is up in 5 seconds time, so looks like they actually do have a Sentry Ward over there, so they will be a little bit prepared. They also need to send a Venom Ward up the hill. Oh, there it goes, PPD with that Venom Ward in. Yeah, none of them are going to run out of mana because Essence Aura is one of the most underrated spells on OD, and a lot of people think of them as like big hits, plus defensive astrals and big ultimate, but Essence Aura is really, really useful. And it's kind of what I think you said it like under the hood spell. Maybe it was ASC. I don't know. Someone says it's like under the hood. Like you don't really notice it that much.
Never said under the hood, but I like
it. It's like Elder Titans and Natural Order.
I like it. All right, I could go with that. I may take that one. We're going to see some exchanging in the mid lane here. OD going to grab a couple of kills, and wow, Luna going to be able to clean it up. A nice Eclipse comes out. And all of a sudden, Merlini, a 3-for-0 exchange. Aspera getting a little bit greedy. They say, hey, you're going to take Roche. We want that tier 1 tower in the mid lane.
Look at Ink Visitor, too. He's like getting dove under the T2 when the T1's still at 75% HP.
But so, all right, so let's just think about this for a second. SSD move into the Roche pit. They burn the glyph, come back to the mid lane, defend the tower, take a 3-for-0 exchange, and then deny the mid tier 1 tower all of after getting an unchecked Roshan. SSD are starting to run away with it a little bit here. 5,000 gold lead. And
Bounty Hunter is a freaking Midas.
Yeah. Midas gaming to the extreme. 5 Midases so far, 3 on the side of SSD.
And, I mean, you have to be really worried for Nature's Prophet here. Because he's 0, 2, and 3. Yeah, he has his Midas, but Bounty Hunter has been all up in his face. And I think the pick was really, really smart from SSD. And, again, some teams have a lot of difficulty playing against Nature's Prophet. But SSD, being as experienced as they are, and Zai being an excellent offlane player, constantly keeps him in check. And he has to be feared for his life. Like, he is forced to TP back home simply because he has a track on him. And that's 30 seconds of wasted farm for him where he's just sitting there. Look at him. He's just sitting there. He's forced to TP around, be very, very inefficient as Nature's Prophet, and that's one of the best parts about Nature's Prophet. He's like one of the most efficient heroes in the game, and when he can take that away from him, then it really limits what Aspera can do.
Yeah, absolutely right. And now that might, I mean, he's just got very little to his name. Midas yet to pay off because he's just unable to farm, keeping it on cooldown, but still. Definitely rough for him. Aspera with the right idea here, though, I think. They're definitely up against the ropes and trying to make something happen. Sharfik going to actually miss that Timber Chain. So trying to group up, trying to take out some towers, at least get a little bit of pick-me-up gold. But SSD right there with the response. Bounty Hunter going to pressure the bottom tier 1. So at the very least, make it a tier 1 for tier 1 exchange. Now going to be 3-2 in total tower count. And Aspera do have the tower lead at the moment. But SSD still with the massive momentum here. Still a 7,500 gold experience lead the way of our Dire side. And it looks like they may be lining up for something here in the top lane. Sanity's Eclipse is off cooldown. Uh-oh, there's a courier coming in as well. OD not going to scout it out. We'll just throw an Astral and back up. Does have a haste rune on as well. So It'll be just fine.
Yeah. Do you hear that thing in the background? I have a lawnmower going on. I hope you don't hear it.
Can hear it a little bit, but it's pretty muddled. It's not too bad.
One mic in between.
Yeah. So, Inquisitor going to get obliterated in the mid lane here. Blah, blah, foo. Maybe in a little bit of trouble as well. Nope, it's going to be Come With Me that falls. That makes it a 1-for-1. Support for support here. Moonlight Shadow comes out. And that'll be the end of it. A little skirmish in the mid lane there. Lawnmower. Aegis.
KM, like he still can't farm Zai, pressuring Sharfik. There comes the track, but with the regen rune, Zai should not be able to kill him at all. And I like the early Vlad's build from Bounty Hunter. I think they need a drums though. He should probably get drums afterwards, but I like the mass aura. Looks like Snake is just going to eat an arrow to the face and sacrifices Aegis.
Yeah, that'll be the end of the Aegis. Now, does he have an ult? That is the question. Indeed, he does. Going to burn it right away. Sharfik going to be in some trouble here. You can tell he wanted a Timber Chain somewhere, but making that little cast animation.
And you cannot go. You cannot do that versus level 11 Luna.
Yeah, that's. I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, they must have figured she might have the ult and level 11 too. That's
whatever. 800 HP Luna. No big.
No big.
No big deal. And not enough burst. Timbersaul's really underleveled compared to Arise. Arise is level 11. Timbersaul's level 8. So Sharfik, as well as he played on the Storm and the Mag, Timbersaul is just. Well, yeah, it's a lot of it has to do with the Midas, and a lot of it has to do with the threat of Bounty Hunter around the map. He's like searching for Cat for KM. He's at 400 HP. He should be scared. He should be really scared.
Yeah. So yeah, three top the leaders on the hero level chart, though, all the way of SSD, and their kind of primary heroes: Bounty Hunter, OD, and Luna. The only three in the game that have the level 2 ultis. So small edge going the way of SSD and upcoming skirmishes, as we saw in the mid lane, kind of a testament to that. I think the scariest thing here on this in the statistics of this match, SSD's primary heroes doing so well. Luna 3-0-4, OD 3-0-1. Both of them can kind of run away with this game, and it seems they're sort of doing it in tandem, which is scary. OD not going to go for the early mech either. He does grab a Force Staff. Still no mech on the Dire side.
Perhaps. Yeah, once they get like mech, BKB, and drums, which should probably come out in like 5 minutes, I'd say. Maybe Luna just goes for a Manta instead of a BKB. But regardless, those items are going to come out pretty soon, and Aspera is going to be in for a lot of trouble. PPD gets caught out.
Yep, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble here. The Sprout, the Ensnare, Riptide, and everything else under the sun. He will get Force Stabbed by OD to the low ground. Oh, what a great place to be Force Stabbed. And whoa, PPD with the survival. Now he's probably going to die. He's going to get shackled.
Oh, they can't find him.
Oh my god. Finally going to fall, but the power shot missed. The sacred arrow missed. I thought he might be able to make the great escape, but then the shackle was going to
created.
They did burn the Naga ulti as well, so they burned pretty much everything.
Dodges of dust.
Yeah.
Bounty Hunter really close with that one.
Oh, arrow? Nope. So they burned pretty much everything to kill that Venomancer right there. Even the Moonlight Shadow comes out. They got him, but didn't come for free.
Ooh, Come With Me gets an arrow too on Rubik. That's a big spell to give away.
Yeah. Is this a stolen Moonlight Shadow? Indeed it is.
Oh!
Arrow gonna connect with Wall Eater with the plays. Stealing the Moonlight Shadow, stealing the arrow, and they line it up.
I also like how Snaking's he's not saving his Eclipse. He's just using it whenever he thinks he can get like one kill with it. And like Luna's weakness is her early to mid game, like the laning phase until like 12 minutes. And if you can get past that and secure some kills with Eclipse, you're very, very well set up for the late game.
Yeah, absolutely right about that. And Net Worth chart would tend to agree with you here as well, as he is #1 at about 11.5k. Leader on the side of Aspera is the Murano, only at about 7.3. So a pretty sizable advantage for the old Luna there. Aspera starting to look a little bit grim that they're going to be able to take their 3-0 sweep today already. 12,000 gold lead, 14,000 experience lead for SSD. They're just continuing to grab that momentum.
Poor Timbersaw, he's the big loser in the mid matchup. Like, look at this. He's forced to go straight shreds. That's how poorly he's doing. And a vid booster. He has to go all survivability, and he still dies to an Eclipse. So it's like he can't really do that much when you can't spam Chakram, you can't spam your Whirling Death. Zai gonna take a spill probably.
Yeah, there's wow, all 5 it takes to finish off the Rubik and the Bounty Hunter. Still a nice set of kills, but they'd have to burn a dust to finish off Zai as well. That mid lane, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that Rubik playing mid. Steal the Moonlight Shadow and then steals the arrow, and they line it up with the Astral Imprisonment combo. That was just so beautiful.
Yeah, it was a little bit unexpected because you don't expect to get just destroyed by the arrow. You're like, oh no, I know Rubik has arrow, but you don't expect it to be followed up by a on the astral imprisonment. So I mean, you can't really fault Bottom for that. It's not like she's just gonna leap.
Right.
Sometimes, although I think it's not a bad idea because Rubik with leap is not that very useful, especially considering he has a blink already. But yeah, we'll see how this mid game plays out. Aspera with those 2 kills, they could have taken out Roshan, but Roshan not up yet. Looks like they will get another initiate.
Yep, Ink Visitor going to be in a little bit of trouble here. Sneaking inbound. Oh, that creep going to absorb the arrow. Probably would have connected with someone. And they are going to survive to tell the tale. Moonlight Shadow comes out. Actually, come with me. Gets turned around on as Wall Eater pops forward.
Cat for KM.
Oh, down in the bottom lane. Yeah, he's going to fall. Well, it's going to be a 1-for-1 around the map. Bounty Hunter going to get a little bit of extra gold. Nice support from Aspera, but the problem with these last 3 kills they've picked up, yeah, they've been able to clean it up, but it's taken them so much in terms of resources. All 5 have popped up both times.
And still the important heroes haven't died.
Yeah, exactly right. It still just creates all this space for the scary farmers of SSD. And then, of course, even more space for Zai just to pick up solo kills, so... Still continuing to look a little bit rough here. Yasha now in the inventory of the Bounty Hunter. And also a Yasha in the inventory of the Mirana, so those carry items starting to pop out a little bit.
Yep, they're just going for no mech gaming.
Yep.
I think mech is really good in combination with ODS and Sara. You pretty much don't have to go back home when when you're pushing towers, and combine that with an urn too. I guess they have some sustainability with lifesteal on Luna and urn on Venomancer, but the mech is just so crucial.
Yep, absolutely right. So here in the mid, could be some more initiation. Sharpik is invisible. He's going to break it, and that'll scare him back. I think it is still a 3v2 in the mid lane here. Aspera without much support. There's the telekinesis on the Sharpik. Oh, man. He's going to be able to survive, but just barely going to get that Timber Chain off. Rubik did steal the shackle. Did latch.
That Siren on the Siren.
Jigglypuff ult right there. Oh, no.
Oh, he got a couple of creeps. He got a couple of creeps.
And he's only level 8. That's a long cooldown to be burning, too. 3 minutes. Ouch.
Yeah.
That hurts. Rubik, though, he's going to throw another shackle. Will connect. He's kind of in no man's land. Not no man's land, but he's all alone. There's the leap forward. Going to throw a sacred arrow. And, yeah, come with me. He's going to be heading back to the grave here.
You can't do that when all 5 of them are there.
Yep. So, Gale going to fly. Ooh, just going to fall short. No, it did actually connect. Pardon me. It did connect with the Mirana. No follow-up, though. And SSD just very calmly going to back up here. Roshan has responded. It is a 5v4. They do have a disadvantage. Let's take a look at the vision here. There was a ward up on the other side.
Eclipse, though, and BKB on Luna, they are just going to get wrecked.
Yep.
And yeah, it's a 5v4, but come with me. He's 1 in 5 anyways. Yeah, he's had some nice plays here and there, but in an actual team fight, he's not as effective as Arise and Sneaking. And they just took that thing out so fast.
Yeah. Wow, that it really was obliterated. I was looking at the vision, trying to like, all right, what does Aspera have knowledge of in that amount of time? Roshan got melted. So
Cat for KM.
Yeah, he's gonna get tracked. Is I gonna track him, or he is gonna track him down also? But I think this should be a kill. And mech gonna be used. One more auto attack ought to do it. Are they gonna have it? Zai gonna throw another track up, and now onto Ink Visitor. The rest of the team continuing to pursue. Is that an Eclipse gonna be burned? Indeed, it is. Not gonna connect with too much in the way of heroes. No vision. Nice Moonlight Shadow from the Mirana. They're going to continue to pursue, though. Arise getting very aggressive here. Lucent Beam going to be used to finish off the Windrunner. That's the first kill in this little exchange. Now Zai in kind of an odd position. He's going to get defensive Astral. That'll be the end of the Aegis now. As he finally falls, but support going to be there.
Cat for KM.
He's trying. Nowhere to go. Sneaking now going to grab a triple kill on that Luna. And I think we're getting close to that insurmountable lead we like to talk about a lot, Merlini. 22 minutes, 15,000 gold, 20,000 experience. Starting to look a little grim.
Yeah, SSD looks like they're just a tier above Aspera in this particular game. Snaking still 6-0-5. Look at his farm to 198 CS in 22 minutes. That is pretty darn impressive. Getting close to that 8 creep per minute mark, which is pretty fantastic anytime before 30 minutes. And I mean, these supports are playing decently well too. They just dewarded that. And Arise, he uses Aegis, but they still came out way ahead on that fight. And Aspera's comeback mechanism is all split push. And again, Bounty Hunter just so good at dealing with that, always in the opponent's jungle. He might straight up TP on him.
Oh no,
hey, Cat for KM. Oh boy.
Well, that was a disaster.
He does not know how to play versus a Bounty Hunter, or he's just not experienced, because he is just dying nonstop. And at this point, you kind of just have to go mech and just fight with your team.
Yeah.
But like, or Necro 3, but he cannot keep farming solo.
Yeah.
Zai is just always there.
Oh, 5 and 8 on that Nature's Prophet. That really is painful. He is still on Necro. I think it's Necro Book level 1. I don't know the Necro icons as well. But, yeah, not really what he was looking for. Look at all the bouncy glaives coming out from the illusions here. Now a mantle in the inventory of sneaking. He's going to get hit by an arrow, but actually the Song of the Siren going to do him a little bit of a favor. They may have been able to follow that up and put some pressure on the Luna, but instead going to use the Song to get a secured tower deny. Again, I don't know about the use of the Song right there. I mean, yeah, they denied the tower, but...
They could have killed Sneaking.
Yeah, I think a kill on the Luna, who is, oh, by the way, still the only one... Well, no, him and OD both yet to concede a death, 6-0 and 5.
OD only has a sheep. He's not important.
Yeah, yeah. Only a sheep after that sheep, or the 4 staff here at 24 minutes. Looks like this top tier 2 tower may fall as well. Going to take a lot of pressure here. Arrow going to fly. Going to be off the mark. Oh, arrow going to fly back. This one going to connect to the creep. The ensnare going to come out, but OD just going to go straight into the front lines. They don't even care about the tower. Sharfik going to get juiced. Blah blah foo going to get
That's
juiced
when you
as
need
well.
the Song of the Siren.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be a 2 for 0. Free tower here. No glyph available. I don't know. This is going to be a bit rough.
OD looking for
bottom
Cat
lane.
for KM.
Cat for KM. No vision. Not going to be able to get the Astral. He ports out. Nicely played. But a very small victory amongst the mess that Aspera are facing right now. This top tier 3 taking a lot of damage. Rubik going to blink forward. Wall Eater in some trouble. He is going to get tracked. We'll be able to leap away, but not going to be able to keep the top tier 3 tower alive. Racks exposed. Still no glyph available. SSD not going to press their luck, though. They are just going to back up as everyone's starting to respawn. Playing it safe, as they well should. No reason to overcommit.
Yeah, they can just wait for the next Roshan, and it should be pretty simple. Snaking, he gets TP'd on by Cat for KM, but he has a Quelling Blade, even if he does get caught out. Looks like Necro 2, I believe, is up on him. So getting close to Necro 3, but is it really going to matter that much? Maybe if Luna gets hit by a last will, they can take her down, but she is BKB, so... Yeah. And it's still a...
And 6,000 gold. That's the more important thing here, I think. 6,000.
Yeah. How are you going to carry versus that? Not. I mean, Potom has like the same items, but I mean, well, not with the 6,000 gold, but similar items. She's a BKB down too, so.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean,
she's like a full 10,000 gold behind Luna.
So look at the net worth. I mean, Luna is just legit doubling him right now. That is really, really rough. Well, sneaking did
and if he gets
well.
caught by arrow, you can just astral. It's not even that big of a deal if someone gets caught out. So like OD is almost has his refresher. Zai just picking people off solo because he has a basher and SNY and a ton of items. This game's getting really ugly for Aspera.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter is just out of control. I think that was one of the biggest outliers. I mean, yeah, Sneaking did fine up top, but for a while she was even with Mirana. And down in the bottom, Cat for KM going to get caught. Yeah, that's going to be easy. I'm not sure about that shackle latch right there, but not much follow-up going to come. That was an odd angle.
Zai might just get a free racks on top, too. They don't have enough resources to split around the map and deal with everybody.
Yeah, Sharfik going to be in trouble here. He's going to fall. We've got to be moments from a GG. Zai just chipping away at the barracks, now just going to move in. He wants some kills as well. Wall Leader going to fall. It's going to be another Lucent Beam. Blah, blah, foo. The buyback comes out from Mirana. Not going to be enough. Item we didn't mention, there's a Rod of Owie on the Timber Saw. He did grab that Rod of Atos. A rough game for Aspera. SSD just kind of outclassing them, it felt like. They were really just a step ahead at every turn.
Yeah, I think their draft was a little bit better too. Naga Siren was like, I mean, it's nice, but you're gonna be able to kill a bounty hunter like once or twice, but what does Song of Siren actually do for you? It literally almost did nothing for them in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. There was really no good Song of the Siren ult, but Cat for KM, unfortunately, not his best game on Nature's Prophet. Gonna end 0-6 and 8. Not what you want to see on that Furion. Still, that was game 4, though, guys. We've got one more coming up for you. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit for Starladder Season 8, Day 8 coverage. I am Zyori, with me as Merlini. Got one more game coming up before our 2-day break this weekend, and then the long grind starts, Merlini. We've got 10 or 12 days in a row, something like that, of nonstop Starladder coverage. So stick with us, guys. More.
I'll be with you for like a week of those.
A week, okay.
I'll be casting with you from the 9th through the 16th.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. And then there's still a few more matches after that, so I'll be going steady. More Dota coming your way, though, guys. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit.